Will you join us now on an expedition to explore antiquity? Explorers keep an open mind as they investigate, research, dig, seek, and probe to discern the truth. Our infallible map and guidebook will be the Holy Bible as we seek to illuminate the truth and dispel ignorance. Amazing new discoveries are being made every day in science, medicine, technology, and space. Yet we lack a basic understanding of fundamental surroundings. No person on earth can explain time, space, electricity, gravity, or even light. Einstein's theories of relativity and quantum mechanics do not begin to comprehend God's creation. Cosmology is the study of the structure, dynamics, and development of the universe. Hundreds of thousands of books have been written about the subject. When God compared the number of stars in the heavens with the sands of the seashore, He demonstrated knowledge of cosmology which confused man until Galileo invented the telescope around 1608 AD. Preceding the telescope, on the clearest nights, only a few thousand stars were visible. Before people watched movies and television, they watched the splendor of the heavens, the stars, the comets, the meteors, and the two great lights. People knew the constellations. While it appears that all the constellations are grouped closely together, actually only two are bound or joined by gravity. Astonishingly, these two are mentioned in the same verse in the 38th chapter of Job. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? The prophet Isaiah wrote about the circle of the earth 2,600 years ago when people thought the earth was flat. Some 500 years ago, Columbus finally proved the earth was round. Yet Solomon, in all his wisdom, understood that the circle of the earth hung on nothing. I speak to students of all ages, and one of my favorite questions has to do with gravity. I ask honors physics students how they explain the fact that astronauts are able to float weightless while in orbit around the Earth. Invariably, the answer I get is that there is no gravity. When I explain that there's fully 90% as much gravity at orbital altitudes as there is on the surface, they are surprised. In fact, the astronauts are in free fall. Because of a precise forward velocity, the shuttle's free fall trajectory matches the curvature of the Earth. When we launch a rocket to the moon, a velocity of about 25,000 miles per hour is required to break away from the Earth's gravitational pull. When the rocket engines are shut down, the rocket begins a very slow deceleration because of the Earth's gravitational pull. This deceleration continues until approximately 210,000 miles from the Earth. At that point, the gravitational pull from the Earth and from the Moon are equal. As the rocket continues, it accelerates because of the gravitational pull of the Moon. To enter lunar orbit, the rocket must then decelerate. The Moon is in orbit around the Earth, and the Earth is in orbit around the Sun. Yet the Earth feels the gravitational pull of the Moon, which causes the ebb and flow of tides. Clearly, our solar system is in orbit around the center of our galaxy. The trouble is, there's not enough visible mass to hold our solar system or the stars in orbit. Scientists attempt to understand this phenomenon by theorizing different kinds of space, such as Newtonian space, and surmising that there must be huge amounts of invisible matter or black holes. However, even the Hubble telescope has not been able to discover a black hole. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The word beginning is the Hebrew reshith, which means first in place, time, order, or rank. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Was, and this is important, is haya, which means became or came to pass. This same word is translated became in Genesis 2:7, and man became a living soul. Without form is tohu, which means to lie waste, a desolation. Void is bohu, which means an emptiness, an indistinguishable ruin. Where are we going with this? The question is this: did God create the earth without form and void, or did it become that way? It was the fourth day before God created the sun and the moon. Nowhere does the Bible say that the first 3 days were 24-hour days. God prepared the earth for human habitation. He created fossil fuel. He meets all our needs. I doubt that we have the capacity to begin to understand exactly how He did it. Most scholars place the Garden of Eden in central or southern Mesopotamia. The Holy Scriptures clearly state that a river flowed out of the garden and thence was parted and became 4 rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates being 2 of those rivers. Flowed out of the garden, not through the garden, not around the garden, not beside the garden. How does a river flow out of a garden without flowing through the garden?